Good morning, Year 6. I hope that your week is going well. So welcome to today's English lesson. I'd like you to pause the video as usual, please, before we move on, and write today's date, Thursday the 21st of January. And the title of this lesson is going to be Apostrophes Recap. Okay, I hope you've written that one really neatly into your English book. On Monday and Tuesday we did a lot of learning about apostrophes. We looked at apostrophes being used for contraction and apostrophes being used for possession. You had a bit of a break from English yesterday because Wednesday mornings we have science. So I thought we'd spend today's session just seeing what you can remember and what you've learned and whether you've memorized all of that information about apostrophes. So let's move on and start with our total recall. Okay, I think we'll start today with SCQE. What I'd like you to do just to start with is write SCQE in your English books, please. And next to the S, write down what that letter stands for. Do the same for C, the same for Q, and the same for E. If you tuned into YouTube on Monday and Tuesday, you should know what those letters stand for. Okay, so hopefully you remembered that S stands for statements, C stands for commands, Q is for questions, and E is for exclamations. So we've got 4 sentences here. Do you know the name of any dinosaurs? Dinosaurs roar. Run away from them. How scary are they? Can you identify which one is the statement, which one is the command, which one is the question, and which one is the exclamation? And can you add the correct punctuation to them? So you'll need to write them into your English books. Pause the video, have a go, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Right, so let's have a look. Do you know the name of any dinosaurs is a question. So that one will need a question mark. Dinosaurs roar is just giving us some information, just telling us something, so it's a statement, and it will need a full stop. Run away from them starts off with this bossy word, this imperative verb, and because it's telling you what to do, we call this a command. And a command could have a full stop, or it could have an exclamation mark. It doesn't really matter. I'll use the exclamation mark today to show that that person is probably shouting. And how scary are they? It's like a quick little comment about something, and we call a quick little comment an exclamation. So I'm going to use the exclamation mark for that one too. Well done if you got all 4 of those correct. Okay, so on Monday our YouTube lesson was using apostrophes for contraction. I would like you to write these words into your English books. Will not, could have, shall not, it is. And then I want you to contract them, and you should remember that that means to make them smaller, and I want you to write them as a contraction with an apostrophe in this space here. So pause the video, contract those words down using an apostrophe, and then press play when you're ready to see if you got that bit correct. Right, Year 6, there are a couple of tricky ones in here today, and will not is one of those tricky ones. If anyone put this, you would be wrong. There is no such contraction as wilt. So if you are contracting, I will not do my homework, I will not, you would contract that to not wilt, but won't. And the apostrophe goes in between the N and the T to show that the O is missing. Could have would be could have. Oh, sorry, I'll just move this down a bit. And when we're writing could have, the H and the A are missing, and we replace those with the apostrophe. Here's the next tricky one, because if you put shout, you would be wrong. I shall not come to the park with you. We would not say shout, we would say shan't. It's one that we don't really use a lot, that's why it's very difficult. It's quite a rare one. And the last one We only use an apostrophe in its when it is contracting it is. So well done, tick those if you got them correct. You might want to write your score out of 4, 4 out of 4 maybe, 2 out of 4, whatever you did, so that when you send your photos in of your work, your teachers can know how you're getting on with your total recalls. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do an apostrophe recap today. I'm going to put some, rather than give you a bronze, silver, gold test, I'm going to go through questions one at a time, and I want you to listen very carefully to my instructions. I'll tell you what to do for each question, and then I will reveal the answers. So there's going to be quite a bit of pausing the video and then pressing play when you're ready to get to the next one. Okay, so we're going to have a recap on apostrophes for contraction and possession, and there might be some tricky ones where we're using the possession as plurals. Hopefully you were watching Tuesday's video. Okay, here is our first question. Tick the words that could complete the sentence below. Now, obviously you're not on the computer, you've got your English book, so what I'd like you to do is write down the 2 sentences, the 2 words that could complete that sentence. The something desk was very messy. So you're writing out 2 sentences, and 2 of these words could go into that space. Pause the video, have a try, and when you're ready to see if you got it correct and move on to the next question, press play. Okay, let's have a look at the answer for this one then. You may as well tick these as you go through your book today. So these are the words that would make sense. The desk belongs to someone. So if the desk belongs to the teacher, you would have to do teachers with an apostrophe. And if the desk belonged to the boy, the apostrophe would be used for possession, so you would need to have the apostrophe after boy. These ones are wrong because they don't have any apostrophes. So they don't show that the desk belongs to somebody. So that's why it's not these 2. Well done if you got that one correct. Let's have a look at the next one. There is punctuation missing from the underlined word in the sentence below. Write the word correctly in the box. So I want you to write that sentence out in your English book, please. The children's PE kits had fallen off the pegs. And I want you to make sure you try and put the punctuation, well, you know it's an apostrophe, because we're learning about apostrophes, but I want you to put the apostrophe in the correct place. So pause the video, have a go, and then tune back in. Okay, year 6, let's have a look at the answer to this one. So, the PE kits belong to the children. So the apostrophe for this one would go after children. Okay, in between the N and the S. If you put it after the S, if you think about it, you wouldn't say the PE kits belong to the children's. Does it really make sense? So unlucky if you did that. Children is a special plural word for many childs, basically. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Just ignore the numbers. We're not actually going perfectly in order, but we'll call this one number 3. But it doesn't really matter if you don't put the numbers in your book. An S has been added to a word in each sentence to make it plural, or to show possession. Tick the sentences where the S has been added to show possession. Okay, 2 of these sentences are correct. In 2 of these sentences, the S has been added to show possession. Can you find the 2 sentences? Pause the video, spend a few minutes thinking about it, and write the 2 correct sentences into your English books. Okay, let's have a look at the answers to these. Right. Well, there were 3 cars in the car park. Nothing actually belongs to the car, or the cars in that sentence. There's no possession at all in that one. So that's why that one's wrong. All my books are on a shelf above my bed. And we do have an S, but there's nothing belonging to the books, so there's no possession in this one either. This one's correct because the apostrophe S has been added to show that the screen belongs to the phone. And this one's correct because the apostrophe S has been added to show that the cover belongs to the book, or the book is in possession of the cover. Well done if you wrote those two sentences into your English book. But maybe you just got one of them correct, and that's okay. Just try your best. Let's have a look at our next one. There is a mistake with the punctuation in the sentence below. Copy and correct the sentence. So I'd like you to write, Jack's dad won the men's race, but I want you to put the apostrophes in the correct place. There might be a mistake in there somewhere. See if you can spot the mistake, and then write the sentence perfectly punctuated, please. Pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, let's have a look at the answer to this one. I think the answer might have something to do with the race not belonging to the men's, but we'll see. Okay, I thought so. This apostrophe here was absolutely fine because, dad belongs to Jack. It's Jack's dad, there's only one Jack. So this one was absolutely fine. This apostrophe was correct. But we wouldn't say that the race belongs to the men's. We would say that the race belongs to the men. So the apostrophe here should go after men and not after men's. So that was the bit that needed changing when you wrote that sentence correctly. Well done if you got it right. Here's the next one. Click and select the apostrophe that is used to show plural, which means more than one, plural possession. Now, obviously, you're not on a computer that can be clicked, so I'd like you to write that sentence into your English books, please, and I want you to circle the word, or circle the apostrophe that's used to show plural possession. Okay, so spend a couple of minutes writing that neatly into your English books and see if you can find the apostrophe that's used to show plural possession. And when you've done that, come back and you can see if you got it right. Right, so plural means more than one. So it wasn't this one, because the leaves just belong to one tree. Okay, but here, the petals belong to all the flowers, because the apostrophe is after flowers. So that apostrophe, or that word, is the one that hopefully you circled, because that one shows plural possession. Right, I hope you're keeping up with all this. I might just make this one a little bit bigger for you, just so that you've got a bit more of a visual help with this one. Click and select an apostrophe in the sentence below that is in the wrong place. Next, write the sentence correctly. So, have a look at this sentence very carefully. One of the apostrophes, I think it's one because it says apostrophe, is in the wrong place. So I want you to find it, and then I want you to write it out correctly for me, please, in your English books. Tia's mum couldn't go to her children's assembly. Have a go, and then we'll reveal the answer in a moment. Okay, I'm sorry about all the pausing and playing, but I think it's the best way to do it rather than leave you to do all the questions in one go. So, Tia's mum couldn't go to her children's assembly. Which one's in the wrong place? This one is absolutely fine because mum belongs to Tia, so the apostrophe goes after Tia, so that's okay. But here, the assembly belongs to the children. You wouldn't say that the assembly is for the children's, you would say the assembly is for the children. So the apostrophe should go right here, right after children. The assembly belongs to the children. The apostrophe goes after children. Right, so getting near the end now. Which sentence has been punctuated correctly to show that there are two girls carrying bags? So we've got more than one girl carrying the bags. There are two. It's a bit of a clue. It's a plural. One of these is correct. So all sentences say The girls' bags were very heavy, but which one is correct? You have to look really carefully at the apostrophes in these sentences. Choose one, and the one that you think's right, just write it carefully and neatly into your English books. Okay, let's have a look. The first one is actually wrong, and this is because nothing belongs to the bag. So we don't need an apostrophe in bag. And this one's wrong too, because nothing belongs to the bags. So that one's wrong. Now here, the bags would belong to the girl, because the apostrophe is after girl. So that would mean that there's only one girl. So that one's wrong. This is the correct one, because the bags belong to the two girls. The bags belong to the girls, so the apostrophe goes after girls. So this one is in the correct place, hence it's the correct answer. Ooh, I showed the answer then really quickly. I hope you didn't see that. An S has been added to a word in each sentence to make it plural. Copy the plural word from each sentence into the table. Okay, so Harry's boots were new. There's a plural word in that sentence. Can you find it? The boys played with Becca's ball. There's a plural word in that one too. Those are Zoe's gloves. Can you find the plural word where the apostrophe's been, an S has been added to make it plural? Have a go at that one and then I'll show you the answers. Right, this is quite a tricky one actually. Okay. So the plural word in the first one is boots, because there's only one Harry. I know it has an S, but it's just one Harry. Harry's boots were new. There's only one Harry, but there's lots of boots. Two of them probably, and they're new. In the second sentence, there's only one Becca, but the plural word is boys. There's more than one boy. And in the last one, although we have an apostrophe, because it's before the S, there's only one Zoe, so the plural word is gloves. Okay, hope you got on well with that one. That one's the last of today's apostrophe questions. I just want you to finish off with this word class game that we've been doing through the week. If I do one for you to get you started. So, the word sang. If you're singing, if the girl sang, it's what the girl is doing. And we call doing words a verb. So that one is a verb. Can you spot the other ones? Can you find the adjective, or maybe the noun, or maybe the relative pronoun, or the preposition, or the adverb? They're all in there somewhere. See how you get on. Write the numbers 1 through to 10 in your English book, and then see if you can match the word classes. And I want you to try really hard to beat the scores that you were getting on Monday and Tuesday. Come back to me in a moment, and I'll go through all the solutions, and you can see how you did. Okay, year 6. We're starting off with the trickiest one today. The laptop, which was brand new, had broken. And that word starts off a relative clause. So we could say that the word which is a relative pronoun. Okay, let's move these up so we can see that one all right. So we're starting off with a relative pronoun. Now, 2. I have 2 sisters. There's a little word in front of sisters. We call this a determiner. Cat is a thing, it's an animal, it's an object. Cat will always be noun. It's one of the easier ones. Okay, after. After I do my YouTube lesson, I am going to have a break. So after starts the subordinate clause. So we could say that it's a subordinating conjunction. And in is one that we talked about earlier on in the week in our total recall. It's an example of a preposition. It tells you where something is. So, for example, I don't know, where is the bag? It's in the box. Okay. If you have a rough storm or a rough sea, the word rough is describing a noun, and words that describe nouns are called adjectives. Oh, today. This is a very difficult one. So you could use the word today to describe when you're doing something. For example, I'm going for a cycle today. And words that describe when or how often you do something are called adverbs. Winter is the name of a season, starts off with a capital letter, so we know that it's a special noun called a proper noun. Okay, there. It is their turn. So you're using the word there instead of using someone's name, and we call this a pronoun. So we've got all the answers on the screen now. You probably were ticking them as you went through, but I'd like you just to finish off by putting your score out of 10 so that when you send a photo into your teachers to show them how you're getting on, they can see how you're doing with your grammar. Okay, everybody, well done for tuning in to today's lesson. Really proud of how well you're doing, and it'll be Friday tomorrow. This week's going so quickly. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.